I don't know if you played this. I have to ask you about the two-note guitar solo. Was that Howard or was that you?
No, that was Pete. That was Pete. Yeah.
Oh, that was Pete who did that. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Now, when he did that, what was your reaction? Like, what's happening?
You've got to remember, just before that, there was Jimmy Page and Richie Blackmore, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, we're doing this song Boredom. And here's the solo. It's like, really? But that caught people's imagination, that minimalist stuff, That was kind of weird. Yeah, I remember him doing that. Then he threw the guitar down and the top half broke. So he became known for this half guitar in the early days. That in a bit of a chaotic frenzy of noise, threw the guitar down and the top half of it broke off. And they picked it up and carried on playing. And that became a unique thing for him. So amazing things, these artistic things or these natural things that happen that, and played the two-note guitar solo, Actually, on the B side of Senses Out of Control, there's two songs on there, on the back of that, and one of them's called Hope Heaven Loves You, which is my song to Pete Shelley, And it says in that, played with a broken guitar and a two-note riff so low,
Oh, that's wonderful.
Oh, there's a reference.
Look at that.
Yeah. Then we started to hit the road and the white line started to flow. I think the early bits never stood a chance in life. You was always on your own because you was a bit of a freak in a little way, as Eamon. Then the punk rock came along and it broke the mold or whatever it was now, the lines in it. But I thought, as I was doing this album, Sonics in the Soul, obviously it was still in my heart and mind, and I thought, you know what? And it just kind of came out. I should write a song for Pete, and if I had consciously sat down and wrote that, it would have been very difficult, really. To what can I write about him, because I knew him so well, But that came out, and it's kind of simple, but to the point with it, But it does mention that two-note guitar riff thing, which blew people's minds at the time,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, wow, that was two notes,
Yeah.
But there's other interesting things about the Buzzcocks riffs. I bought a guitar for £5 from before I was in a band when I was 16, and every time I tuned it up and I played a chord, I mean, it was so cheap. It should have just been Spanish guitars a bit on the wall. It'd go out of tune. And then one day I learned how to play Beethoven's Ninth, Ode to Joy, on one string and a bit on the other. So rather than keep tuning the guitar up, I used to attempt to tune it and then one chord and it'd go out. And come up with these little guitar motifs all the time. So usually on about two strings, like on songs like Pulse Beat and things like that. So in the face of adversity and not affording a good guitar at the time, you can find things, anybody out there, it's looking at things in a different way, I suppose as an artist or whatever. So a lot of those riffs, when I eventually met the others and we met from the Buzzcocks, came from having that really bad guitar and just trying to do things on a couple of notes, but making there's a lot of them, like, and I Don't Mind, there's a little bit in one part of it, and they're sprinkled about all the stuff, but they're like a unique little guitar motif, in each song, almost separate from the song in a way, but they're like a little tune in themselves, and that, for me, it came from those, having that cheap guitar and not being able to keep it in tune and stuff, so just adapted like that. And it was only years later I realized that. I thought, fuck, if I had a good guitar, I wouldn't have come up with that kind of style,
So true.
So it just shows anyone out there, you don't have to have £1,000 Les Paul, or which goes back to a lot of the thinking in punk. It was, it was more about a lot of imagination as well as stuff. It wasn't all Sid Vicious getting pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and that, it kind of sparked people's imaginations, that two-note riff thing and things like that. So we always liked a bit of that,